This is the Mi Watch Lite, a smartwatch with up to 9 days battery life, built-in GPS, compass, air pressure and all at a budget price. But is it any good? Let's find out. The Mi Watch Lite comes in a simple and clean looking box. There's not too much to say about it, but on the back we find some specifications. If you're familiar with the Amazfit Bip watches, you kinda know what the Mi Watch Lite looks like, as it is pretty much the same type of design. In the box we get a user manual in different languages, a cable for charging, and this is a standard USB to some type of docking station. It's got a bit of a strange shape, and the cable is strangely placed, but there's a reason for this, which we will see a bit later. Next we have the watch itself, looking pretty good with the matte black color around the sides. The watch is made of plastic, but it's very durable and it doesn't scratch easily. I wore mine while repairing the exhaust on my car, and several times banged it into stuff under the car. Unsurprisingly, it didn't scratch at all. On the side we have a button for turning on the screen and opening the main menu. The straps have enough holes to fit any wrist size, and they are quite soft to wear. I didn't have any discomfort even after wearing it both day and night for a couple weeks. If you don't like the black strap, it is possible to take them off. There's a button on the back that must be pressed quite hard, so it's not the easiest I've tried, but they do come off. Putting them back on is much easier, as all we have to do is push a bit. The button on the side has a nice metallic look to it, and it's got a good clicky feedback when pressing it. Under is the Mi logo, the PPG sensor for measuring heart rate, and the connector points for the charging dock. The first time it's powered on, it will give us a QR code for easily finding the correct app. Older Mi watches uses the Mi Fit or Zepp app, but for some reason it's not used with the Mi Watch Lite. Here we have a new app called Xiaomi Wear. After installing it and signing into my Mi account, it looks like this, but more about that later. To pair it with a phone, just tap Profile, Add Device and Mi Watch Lite. After accepting the permissions and so on, it will finally connect and we're ready to start using it. One of the big benefits of getting a branded watch is that we will get updates, and here's already a new firmware update ready to go. We will have a closer look at the app a bit later, but let's first check out what the watch has to offer. Now that the watch is paired and switched on, we can try the dock again. Just place the watch on top and press it in until it snaps into place. The display will now show us the charge progress, but the most interesting thing here is that we can place it on the side. The display will now turn over in landscape mode, and this is how the watch will lay on the desk while charging. That's why the cable is on the back. Charging this watch takes about 2 hours. Like I said earlier, this is a comfortable watch to wear for long periods. It only weighs 35 grams, so I hardly notice wearing it at all. The Mi Band Lite measures 41 by 35 mm and is 10.9 mm thick, so it's not very big and it's not too small. On the front we have a 320 by 320 pixel color display that can go up to 350 nits, so it's bright enough. It's also got good battery life, and inside is a 230 mAh battery that can last up to 9 days. As on most watches, the display will wake up when we turn the wrist, and it stays on for a fixed amount of time if you keep the hand in this position. If you quickly look at it and put down your hand again, it will switch off faster to save some battery. On the main screen we have our time and activity data based on the watch face we have chosen. Pulling up shows us the quick toggles, and here we can use the display as a flashlight. We can turn on or off functions like the DND and the raise to wake. It's also possible to lock the screen, and to unlock it again we have to hold the power button for a few seconds. The next one is very good for us who make videos, because this will keep the display on for 5 minutes. The last one is a quick access to the watch settings. Pulling down from the main screen we have the notifications, and here we can see a list of missed calls or other messages, if there are any. To go back we can swipe to the right on any screen, and pushing the physical button on the side of the watch will take you all the way to the main screen. Swiping right we have the music player, a simple view of today's activities, some weather information, sleep data for last night with the score, the heart rate function, and we're back to the main screen. Going the other way has the same options in the opposite order. To access the main menu on the watch, we have to press the button on the side. This is actually a little bit annoying, as it's not possible to open it by using the touchscreen, but it is the way it is. Here we have 2 pages, all with nice looking icons and no text. The first one is our workout options, and here we have outdoor running, treadmill, outdoor cycling, indoor cycling, freestyle, walking. And a nice thing here is that we can see our weekly average under the activity. Next is trekking, trail run, pool swimming, open water swimming, and cricket, of all things. Yes, this watch is waterproof up to 50 meters, so it can be used while swimming. When starting an activity, the watch will first show a screen like this, and it's now trying to get a GPS signal before starting. If you don't want to wait, we can just click go, and it will start the countdown. While the activity is active, we can see the distance, time spent, heart rate, and some pace details. There's also average time per kilometer, average pace, calories, cadence, stride, and steps. By holding the button for a few seconds, the activity will be put on pause, and we can choose to continue or end it. The next option shows a list of the activities we have already completed, and we can open them to get more details. Here we have the distance and time spent, calories, steps, average speed, cadence, different pace data, and some heart rate information. There is of course more data available in the app on the phone, including a map if you use the GPS activity. Next is today's activity data, which is more detailed compared to the one we saw on the main screen. Here we have calories, steps, standing, a calories graph for reaching our goal, a step graph for the entire day, and a graph for standing alerts. Next is for measuring heart rate, and see our heart rate info for the day. In sleep data we can see our score, how long I slept last night, and swiping up will show what time I fell asleep and when I woke up. Swiping again and we have details about deep sleep, light sleep, and awake time. Next is breathing exercise, like we have seen on some watches before, and all we need to do here is follow the breathing instructions on the screen. The Mi Watch Lite also has a built-in compass, which is nice for orienting in the woods. If you need the air pressure, it's in here with a nice graph around it. Swiping up shows us the altitude. It's not possible to save music directly on the watch, but we can use it as a remote for controlling music that's playing on the phone. This player works very well and it's quick. We can play, pause, change songs, and the song title is displayed on the top of the screen. We can also adjust the volume from the watch. The music player is also quick to access from the main menu. Just swipe right and it's there, ready to serve. If it wasn't easy to access, it wouldn't be used at all by me, so this is good. On the next page we have the alarm clock, which I use every day, and it wakes me up gently every morning with this vibration. There's no sound. A nice thing with this watch is that not only can we switch alarms on or off on the watch, we can also adjust the alarms without opening the app on the phone. We can also choose which days we want the alarm to be active, so it doesn't bother us when we have days off from work. There's also a stopwatch that supports laps. The countdown timer has a few preset options, but we can also set a custom time at the bottom here. Weather information shows us today's weather with the lowest and highest temperature, and a little icon to show if it's sunny or rainy, and so on. Sliding up here shows us the forecast for the next few days. Here's notifications again, which is empty at the moment. If you can't find your phone, just tap here and it will play a loud tune on it, if it's connected of course. Here's the flashlight again. If you need any help on how to use the watch, this QR code will open a website. Or you could just open the app, because the same help is available there. And the last option are the settings. In here we can change the watch face, and we don't have that many on the watch itself, but there are a lot of them in the app. The watch face can also be changed by holding a few seconds on the display from the main screen. On some of them there's a small icon under it, which indicates that it's possible to customize the information on the watch face. By tapping on the items in the watch face, I can now change this field to something that fits my need better. Next is the display's brightness, which we can set to auto adjust or we can set it manually. I have it set to the max brightness right now since I'm filming, but usually it's always on auto, and it works quite well. The D&D mode can also be customized directly on the watch, and we can turn it on or off, or change the time frame for it. For Race to Wake we have the exact same options, and I like that we have options like these on the watch itself, so we don't have to open the app that much. We can even customize the heart rate monitoring quite a bit in here, like set how often it should check it, or switch it completely off to save battery. If the heart rate alert is on, it will vibrate when the rate gets above a certain value and you haven't been active for the last 10 minutes. The idle alerts can be switched on or off, and the duration can be set. Covering to sleep is interesting though. Just put your palm on the display and it will switch off. It's actually not possible to switch off the display by pushing the button on the side, so there's no other manual way to switch it off, which is a bit strange. Auto lock is how long the display will stay on until it automatically switches off, if you're not touching the display at all. Don't want anyone to access your watch, just set a PIN code to lock it. There's function for resetting, some about data, and regulatory info. In system settings, we can reboot, power off, and reset the watch. One of the most used functions for me personally is the notifications, and here's an example of an incoming message. We can see quite a bit of text on one page, but sadly it will not show the full message, even if we scroll down. Most messages are shorter than this one, but if you get a long one, it's going to cut it off. That's why we see the 3 dots at the bottom. A nice thing is that it does support some smileys, but not all of them. There's a message with some random chosen ones, and if it doesn't recognize the smiley, it shows a rectangle with a question mark inside it. We also get incoming call notifications with the name of the person calling. Like I mentioned earlier, the Mi Watch Lite uses a different app than some other Mi products. It's called Xiaomi Wear, but it's quite good and easy to navigate in. On the main page we have an overview of our daily results, the last exercise we did, and further down is data for sleep, heart rate, and standing. There are more details to find in each of these, with nice graphs, but there's one thing that annoys me a bit here. The scrolling function isn't very nice. It works fine, but it's got this animation delay before it snaps into place. It just feels a bit awkward to use. See what I mean? On top we can change between today's data, day, week, and month summaries. Inside galleries we have the exact same type of view, so nothing special to see here. Each activity is nicely registered, and since this watch has a built-in GPS, we get a map on the top. There's also distance, duration, and so on, with a good view of the pace for each kilometer below. There is one strange thing here though, and it's the height or elevation data. I've noticed that in almost every activity I start, it's completely flat, even if there's quite a bit of changes in elevation, so it doesn't seem to be working correctly. There's also detailed heart rate info with a nice graph. Sleep monitoring seems to be working well, and here we have the typical information, like how long we slept in total, deep sleep, light sleep, and awake time. We also get a score that goes up to 100, rating the night's sleep quality. Here's some heart rate info for the entire day, and it's the same type of view as we saw with steps. Not sure how useful this one is, but we can also see our standing results. The workout section lets us track workouts from the phone instead of using the watch. In profile we find information about ourselves and the watch. This is where you need to go if you want to change some watch settings or download new watch faces. The first page shows us the watch faces that are currently installed on the watch, and it can have a maximum of 5 installed. The online section is for downloading new ones, and there are a lot to choose from here. And I've noticed new ones showing up from time to time, so they are adding new ones. They are also sorted in categories, which is nice. The app also lets us choose which apps we want to get notifications from, and shows us how to set up the permissions. Overall, this is a nice looking app, and it does what it's supposed to in a good way. The Mi Watch Lite feels well made, and the menu system works well. Some other watches have fancy animations when going through the menus, but there's no such thing on the Mi Watch Lite. I don't really mind it, as it makes navigation faster, and I would rather have no animations instead of laggy animations. The battery is also quite good, and in my test I got 8 full days of use. That's with 2 hours use of the GPS. The GPS does use some battery, and I found that 1 hour and 12 minutes used about 20% of the total battery. The steps counter is also accurate, and compared to the Mi Band 5, the amount was always about the same. Overall, the Mi Watch Lite is very nice and does a good job recording activities. Except for the elevation data, of course, but hopefully it will be fixed soon somehow. I like the vibrant display, and there are so many watch faces to choose from, so I guess everyone can find something they like here. The Mi Watch Lite gets a thumbs up from me. Another nice thing about using Xiaomi watches is that we do get some updates. And there was a new update right after I made this video, so I'll make a separate video showing what's been updated and post it soon. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, click that like button, and if you didn't already subscribe, just click that button below the video and the bell for more. Have a nice day, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.